He was going to make you a new, customized bike.
Yes.
There was a gas leak from the bike.
Yes, ma'am. I said, oh, that's an easy fix. Don't worry about it.
He agreed to come out and fix the bike.
They never came.
Oh. So when the bike is fixed, that's when you'll get your check.
This is Judy Justice. Kimberly Edwards is suing bike sellers Ray Griffin and Dana Hicks for the cost of a custom motorized bike.
Court come to order.
Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 1133, Edwards versus Griffin Hicks.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Edwards, you purchased a second-hand, customized motorbike from the defendants.
Yes, ma'am.
You purchased it understanding that it was used, that it had been used either by one of the defendants or their children.
No, ma'am.
When you bought a used one, what was your understanding? Who had it been used by?
Well, what I was told was that the bike was made for her, but that she didn't get a chance to ride it. So she phrased it to me as though the bike had never been used. It was just an extra bike that her husband Ray had created.
Okay, let's get back to, where did you meet them?
IHOP.
And you must have seen them riding these bikes.
Yeah, they were at IHOP with the bikes.
How many?
I would say in total about 5.
And they were all similar but different. They were all custom, but
Yeah.
they didn't look like the usual bicycle
No,
that you
ma'am.
ride. So they were different.
Yes, ma'am.
And you liked them. And who did you start the conversation with?
Mr. Griffin.
What did you say to him and what did he say to you?
I asked him, did you create this? He said yes. And then he went on to tell me that he made custom bikes. And they are dual, meaning that you can pedal and that you can use the motor. So I thought that was fascinating, and I asked him about the patent. I went in to ask him about, what all it entails, the parts. And so I told him I wanted one for my baby's birthday that was coming up.
How old is your child?
She's 15.
So you said, I'd like to buy one from you. Did he tell you how much it was?
He told me that it was $450 initially, and I went with that price. I'm like, okay, good.
Okay, so he said it was $450.
Yes, ma'am.
And then what happened?
Then I asked him whether I could speak to his wife about setting up to buy the bike. After that, that was the last conversation that I had with Mr. Griffin. I only spoke to the wife after that.
Okay. He was going to make you a new, customized bike for $450.
He just said custom bike. He never said that it was used. She never implied that it was used until we got into the text message conversation. They didn't initially print it out, but this is the conversation. So this is her contacting me to see if I was still interested in the bike.
Okay, hold on one second. Okay, I don't understand this message. What's next?
This is the warranty that we spoke of.
Oh, I don't want to hear the warranty.
Okay, you want the text messages.
I'm back in $450
Okay.
for a new, customized bike.
Yes, ma'am. It's in my phone.
So get it from your phone, unless we can agree on it. You said you build your new one for $450, and you say in your complaint that you paid them $550.
No, that was the initial price was the $450, but I ended up paying $550 for the bike in total.
Why?
Because he told me that the labor for the bike was $100, and the base price of the bike was $450. Here it is.
Great, I'm going to see it. So you reached a price of $550.
Yes, ma'am.
For this bike.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Well, this is back and forth bartering. You finally agreed to pay him $550.
Yes, ma'am.
For the bike.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Did he deliver the bike?
Yes, ma'am.
When did he deliver the bike?
The day before her birthday on August 31st.
You have a picture of the bike?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, and you accepted the bike in your home?
I accepted it outside, and then I pulled it into the garage. And then we discussed the handles and all of the gadgets on it. And then
so he explained how to drive it.
No, he just explained to me which one was the gear. And he just went through and told me what's gear, what these parts are, where I need to flip this or change this.
And he explained to you how to drive it.
No, he didn't explain to me how to drive it.
Okay. Well, I'm telling you, he explained to you, Miss Edwards, how to drive it. You may not want to put it that way, but I'm telling you, he explained to you how to drive it.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right.
So after he explained to me, he got on it and he rode it 4 houses down and came back.
Okay, so he showed you how to turn it on. You watched him. I mean, he didn't ride around the block because he wanted a scenic view of where you live. He rode around with the bike so that you saw that it worked.
Yes, ma'am.
And he showed you the different gears, and you watched him how he started it.
No, I didn't.
Well, then you should have watched him how he started it.
Yes, ma'am.
And he drove it around so that you could see that it rode around the block. And then what happened?
So when he came back from riding it and we discussed with Dana on the open line, a 3-way call, Dana was initially supposed to show my daughter how to ride it. That was her offer. Wasn't something I asked for. So when he heard that, he was like, well, I have to go to work now, but I'll come back the next day.
Daughter had to ride it, and that would have been September 1st.
Yes, ma'am.
How did it get into the garage?
I pulled it.
And then you put the stick down so it wouldn't fall over?
Yeah, he initially told me about the stick because it was so loose, the bike couldn't stand straight up, and he told me that when he came back to show how to ride that he would tighten it. And so from that point, I just leaned it up against the wall because I knew it wouldn't stand on the leg that it was on because it was loose.
Okay. Do you remember that?
Not at all.
Not at all. I have to tell you, you have to be careful, Mr. Griffin, because there are certain things that are important and certain things that aren't important.
Right.
Certain little details, because if somebody tells me something that is a minute detail, but doesn't really have bearing on the case, like the stick that holds the bike was loose and you said you would fix it, that's not something that somebody would make up because it really doesn't have anything to do with the case. So if you're going to say no to everything before you actually think about it, I'm not going to believe a lot of what you say. Do you understand?
I understand.
Great. So understanding that there's a certain veracity in that little detail, which really isn't important, you want to think again whether you said to her, I'll fix that when I come back and show your daughter how to ride the bike?
I actually told her I was coming back, but throughout the week, I have told
No, just, you told her you were coming back to show her daughter how to ride the
Saturday.
bike. Did you tell her you would tighten the stick that allowed...
nothing's wrong with the bike.
I didn't say there was anything wrong with the bike. This little stick here, I don't know what you call it.
Kickstand.
Kickstand.
It works. We have a picture of...
A new bike.
May I see that?
That's the bike, the actual bike in her garage, using the kickstand that she said isn't working.
You took this picture on September 1st.
No, she did.
That's a screenshot.
That she took.
She took it and she sent it to me.
And what she's saying to you in this screenshot is that there's a problem with oil.
Yes.
So she's showing you the bike that's not leaning against anything.
Correct.
It's leaning on the kickstand. Now I know what it's called. Oh. Oh, that's a horse of a different color.
Early on this process, Kimberly shared that she was interested in having a relationship with me. And so early on this...
You're not paying attention, and I would pay attention instead of looking.
I
Instead of
apologize.
looking.
Kimberly Edwards is suing bike sellers Ray Griffin and Dana Hicks for the cost of a custom motorized bike.
Miss Edwards, you want to take a look at this?
Yes, ma'am. What you can see, if I may show the judge, is where that bag is sitting. It's leaning up against the chair. It's on the chair, leaned up against the chair because it won't stand up. Here's another picture where I had to put the kickstand inside of the pan to make it stand up.
So what you're saying is that the bicycle is actually leaning up against this heavy bag, and it doesn't have its weight on the kickstand.
Yes, it doesn't.
Okay, and when you sent it to her on September 1st, you sent it to the defendants, showing them that there was an oil or gas leak from the bike.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And what you told her then was, I made it in April. I don't know, my wife didn't like it. Nobody ever used it.
I actually talked to her in regards to the bike.
Well, he says that it was never ridden.
It wasn't by me. I didn't like
You didn't like it.
I didn't like the motorbike.
Who wrote it?
When Ray build the bikes, he don't build the bikes and give it straight to the customer or whoever it is, because it's a motor and they rattle, you know. So once he put the bolts and everything on it, he test ride it for a few miles or whatnot just to try it
That's
out and
fine.
make sure. So he was the only person that tested the bike out when it was
So
given.
nobody else rode the bike
Not
except
even
you.
myself.
She sent you this picture the day or within 24 hours of getting possession of the bike.
Which, before the picture, she called me. She said, Ray told me to lift up because when you finish riding the bike, there's an off switch, which stops the gas from flowing down, right? It's an easy little off and on. So she said, I don't know what Ray told me. And I was messing with it and now it's leaking. I said, oh, that's an easy fix. Don't worry about it. And so I said, let me call Ray on three-way so that he could just tell you how to fix it. So we went about, and I asked her to send me the picture so I can see exactly where the bike was leaking. So that's basically what happened. She sent the picture, then we tried video calling her. Her video kept cutting off. So that's when I told her, I said, it's an easy fix. We'll be out between Friday and Sunday.
And then?
After that conversation, me and her talked. And so early on this...
You're not paying attention, and I would pay attention instead of looking.
I
Instead of looking.
I apologize.
Early on this process, Kimberly shared that she was interested in having a relationship with me. So, like, through all this process,
I don't listen to me. I don't care about
Understood,
that.
but I'm-
just listen to me. Then stop talking. I don't care about that.
Right.
Do you agree that you just told me that this leaking gas or oil is an easy fix?
Yes.
Is that what you said?
Yes.
She says that since you dropped the bike off on September 1st or August 31st, I don't care what date it
Right.
was, that nobody has ridden it.
I believe she rode it or tried to ride it.
Either she did or her daughter.
Because
Correct.
when Ray left, he
Hold up.
cut the gas off.
Just a second. Did either you or your daughter ride the bike? No. Very, very easy. Can I see this warranty that you're talking about? Well, this is a warranty. This says what I've experienced since we've been doing this. As long as she puts the gas in it correctly, it will run good. In the future, if any parts need to be fixed, just let me know and I'll work on it. Well, something needs to be fixed.
And I did.
Just a second.
I'll work
Just a
something
second.
out with you, not work on it.
I'll work. Well, let me see the rest of
That's
it.
her text.
It stops and I'll work.
Oh, okay.
I'll work something out for you, but that should be no time soon. Okay, so what he's saying to you is this isn't a guarantee that you get your money back. This says, in the future, if any parts need to be fixed, just let me know and I'll work something out for you. That's not a warranty.
I was never saying it was a warranty for fixing whatever would be wrong, but I didn't expect anything to be wrong the day of.
Well,
So
I
this
don't,
is
I don't
him-
know what you expected, madam.
I expected just to get a bike that was
but-
working properly.
Well, it was working properly because according to you, he rode it up and down the block. He has to go out and fix it. And you have to tell him when you want him to come out and fix it.
So-
that was his warranty. You're not getting your money back.
No, I wanted to show you what they said to me.
Just a minute, if it's something different from what this is, okay, you want to show me something else?
Also-
Otherwise, show me.
She said that I told her that my daughter's birthday was September the 2nd. This is me telling her in text messages my baby's birthday was September the 1st.
I don't care. It's not important.
But it's just the aspect
I don't,
that she
I
lies.
don't care. September 1st to September 2nd is not important to me or this case.
Yes, ma'am. I'm sorry.
He said they would come out and fix it. We already told you Friday or Saturday.
That's the thing. On the phone call that me and
Yeah,
Miss
I
Divine
asked you.
had,
Okay, he has to come out and fix it within 1 week. What date do you want him to come out and fix the bike?
I don't want the bike.
Well, then,
Because
then
it's
you
a
can,
fire
then you can
hazard.
then you can sell it. It's your bike. What I'm telling you is he agreed to come out and fix the bike.
This is what they told me. Can I present this? They told
You
me.
can show me something else.
This-
Right now I'm reading what the two things that you
Okay.
gave me.
Judge, may I see what she gave you?
No.
Okay.
So far you're not losing. You have to be
I
quiet.
know, I'm sorry. I'm just curious. That don't.
He didn't say fluffy, but he said the lights were extra. I don't... What does this have to do with what we're talking about?
No, that is him after the fact of me asking him and waiting for them to.
I
that's
will
her blowing
cash
me
up
off.
you, just to listen, I will cash up you tomorrow, the remaining in cash. Okay,
That
that
was
works.
prior to him coming
Well,
to my home.
do you understand? I'm not interested in all
No,
of
I
this.
know.
So don't give it to me. Just because you give me a lot of paper doesn't confuse me. It wasn't a bike that you bought at Schwinn. You take pieces from a bike. He didn't create the metal. He didn't create the wheels. He put together different parts.
He just
of a
told
bike.
me that it was a creator of the bike, and he was not the creator
please.
of the bike.
You don't look like a stupid woman.
Kimberly Edwards has accused bike sellers Ray Griffin and Dana Hicks of refusing to refund the cost of a custom motorized bike. Ray says Kimberly rejected his offer to fix the bike for free.
You were supposed to give me a piece of paper that suggested that there was some sort of a refund warranty, other than he would come out and fix it.
No, that's initially, Judge Shineland, what I wanted him to do was come and fix the bike, but when they refused and they didn't show up on Friday, I wanted my money back.
Just a second. On what date are you going to go out and fix the bike?
It would be on like a week.
Not alike. What date are you going to fix the bike?
The following, when is it?
September
On the
22nd
22nd.
of?
It would have to be
Okay,
October
I'm sorry,
23rd.
I've been
23rd.
making it up.
23rd afternoon.
Don't talk about making this up. Just be quiet.
Yes, ma'am.
Friday.
Listen to me. From what jurisdiction do you come?
Harris County,
Where is that?
Houston, Texas.
And as part of your appearance here, you get an appearance fee.
Correct.
Have you received that yet?
No, ma'am.
You're not going to until the bike is fixed. Do you understand?
Understood.
So when the bike is fixed, that's when you'll get your check. Do we understand each other?
Understood.
Give me the date that you will be there to fix the bike.
October 23rd.
What time? Do you not want him to come and fix the bike? That's going to make my life easier.
That's been an issue.
I wasn't going to disagree. I was just going to say my daughter's in athletics, so the time frame would have to be before she gets out so that I won't run into going to get her and them trying to
So
fix
just
the bike.
just a second. Tell me what time is no good for you.
After 3.
Okay, you have to be there before 3 o'clock. So I would say pick a day when you can be there at noon.
So let's try Sunday, October 24th.
Can't be a Sunday.
We work.
Just a second. What days of the week do you work?
I work Monday through Sunday.
Doing what?
That I ran into.
Off on Saturdays, but
You're off on Saturday.
Right, as of right now, I work for a repossession agency.
What I'm telling you is pick a day
We did-
before 12
do you
o'clock.
understand we
And you
picked 2
keep going.
days?
We
No,
did.
no, no.
Keep changing it.
No. She said she has to pick her daughter up.
the day we
23rd.
gave you was a
Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Great. I'm going to give you a date.
I want to let you know, my daughter has away games. That's why I'm saying that they can't fix it after 3 or in between that time on a Saturday because she's away. So I'm away with her. It has to be Monday through Friday before 12, before
Well,
3.
that's unreasonable. If you want the bike fixed, get somebody else there at the house to stay at your house and watch the bike.
That was the whole problem initially, Judge
Well,
Rollins, because
that-
he didn't want to come. He didn't want to come that particular time. He kept putting it off.
We never put it off.
Let me
You
explain
put it
something.
off.
Let me explain something to you.
Yes, Judge.
That's the date, the 23rd at 12 o'clock. If you want the 23rd, it can be at 3 o'clock. What's your pleasure?
That's fine.
What?
The 23rd,
At what time?
before 3 is 12.
12 noon on October 23rd.
Yes.
You're going to be there and fix the bike.
I would be there.
Very good. And if the bike still doesn't work, because Key and I suggest you have your daughter there to drive it around, free to come back. Put your hand down. Do you understand? You bought a bike that was put together. It wasn't a bike that you bought at Schwinn.
He misled me into thinking that he was the creator of the bike, and he was not the creator
Please,
of the bike.
You don't look like a stupid woman. You take pieces from a bike. He didn't create the metal. He didn't create the wheels. He put together different parts of a
just told
bike.
me that it was a custom
That's my decision. If you don't like it, I'm sorry. You don't have a warranty from them for this bike other than he said he would come out and fix it, which is what I've arranged for him to do on the 23rd of October. They say it's an easy fix. Somebody played around with it. Maybe they did, and maybe they didn't. He said it's an easy fix, so he's coming out to fix it. We're finished. Thank you.
Thank you.
Court is adjourned.
I'm gonna give him a chance to fix the bike, and we'll go from there. But I respect her decision.
I definitely think something happened because when we delivered the bike, Ray cut the gas off. So for it to leak after the fact is something that she had to do.
It was so disappointing, the aspect that I did it the day before I prepared, I paid, and then to get a damaged bike. So for everybody out there, don't buy so-called created custom bikes.
But regardless to whether she tampered with it or not, I still agreed to coming out and helping her. That's all that mattered.
I just think that's his character of trying to escape the aspect that he had to fix it.
I sell these things. It's behind my name.
And now the fact that he has to fix it, this is where I wanted it to be. So I respect it.
It's just only fair. Like, okay, that's fine. Even though you created the problem, we can help you fix it. It's not that serious.
My mom has a electric bike like that's a dual purpose. You can ride it like a regular bike or motorized. So I know she has that, but this bike seemed a bit photo, and I still don't really understand how that all
That's
works.
why they say that they custom make it. They probably take pieces from
Different
pieces
kinds of
of
bikes.
discarded bikes and sort of cobble them together.
Good for maybe an art piece for me. I don't know if I would ride something like
Well,
that.
clearly they wrote it. They wrote it to IHOP.
Yeah.
That's where she saw them. In any event, the plaintiff clearly knew that this was cobbled together. It may have been their original design, but they didn't create wheels and spokes and motors and things. They put them together out of.
They weren't in
stuff.
manufacturing.
They weren't manufacturers. And he came. She said he rode the bike. He rode to show her it was operable. He rode up and down the block several times, so the bike was clearly operable. I really don't know what happened after he left. I can hardly imagine that the daughter didn't see that bike and didn't say, gee, I'd love to take it for a spin myself. She put it in the garage. That's sort of outside the realm of possibility for a 15-year-old, that she didn't try it. Anyway, he's got to fix it, and he said he would, and I believe that he will.
Want justice? Go to Judy Justice TV.
You purchased tickets from the defendant, sent her money. Never got the tickets. You have proof to me that you sent her the money?
Yes, ma'am.
And she sent you no tickets?
Correct, yes. Can I explain why I did it?
I'm waiting for your story. Make it one that this face is going to believe and understand.
This is Judy Justice. Jacqueline Ogumwabwa is suing ticket seller Raven Walker for a refund of music festival tickets.
Court come to order. All rise.
Be seated, please.
Hello, Judge. Case number 1167, Oku Mamboa versus Walker.
That's a mouthful. Oku Mamboa.
Moi.
How about O?
Yeah, that works, Jackie.
Does that work? Does that work for you?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Miss O, tell me about this concert you wanted to attend.
It is a music festival. It's called Rolling Loud. They have different locations. Basically, once the state started lifting their quarantine orders, the one in Miami was the first one that occurred. So that happened in July of this year, 2021.
And that was the concert you wanted to attend.
That was a concert I wanted to attend.
According to your complaint, you purchased tickets from the defendant, sent her money. She never sent her tickets. She says you never sent her the money. That's what the case is about. How did you locate the tickets?
What do you mean by locate the tickets?
If I want tickets to, I don't go to music festivals. I'm much too old for music festivals. But if I wanted theater tickets, I call the box office, ticket agent. But I know that young people do things differently today. Their lives and their worlds are all tied up in the internet. So just to educate myself.
Okay, so there's a lot of ways to purchase tickets. You can either go to the hosting website, which is the Rolling Loud. You can also go through third parties website. And then the one
How do you get to the third party website?
You can Google.
You just go
You
to
can
the
Google,
website.
and depending on what concert you want to go to, you can just type it in and it will pull up like pricings. And that way, people who want to sell their tickets, I'm able to see them and I can pay for them and then have them get sent to me.
Is that what you did with the defendant?
No, what I did, and I was gonna
So eliminate number one.
book.
And what's the
it
name of the
was
private group?
Rolling Loud.
Okay, Rolling Loud.
Yes,
I just like to see what that looks like if it still exists.
Sure.
it does.
It does.
Yes.
Just so that I understand it.
Yeah, no, that's fine.
You can always learn something.
Yeah.
So it looks like there's a couple different groups. The one she's talking about is a private group, but it looks like a few of them have been taken down since then, since the event has already happened.
Right, that's what I thought. But could I just take a look and see what it looks like?
Sure. So this is the official Facebook page, and then you can go to who else is following this page, that many people, and they create their own private groups in order to exchange tickets or sell them.
Okay. And is that how you found the defendant?
Yes.
On what date?
I believe my first day of talking with her was June 4th. I don't know.
Speaking to her over the internet or
Over the internet through Facebook, yes. I responded to her Facebook post. She had mentioned she had 2 VIP.
do you have that Facebook post?
I don't have the Facebook post. I just have the messages that me and her exchanged.
May I see it?
Yes, you may.
Where do you live, by the way, Miss O?
I stay in Monterey Park, California.
And you?
St. Louis, Missouri.
What was wrong with your car, Miss Walker?
I was having transmission issues, or what I thought at the time was transmission issues.
How did that manifest itself?
Just, it wasn't running properly
How do you think I knew you were having car trouble?
because it was in the messages.
No, your messages are deleted.
Okay.
Hers aren't. You can't delete her messages, but you deleted yours.
Yes, ma'am.
So how do you think I know you had car trouble?
I'm not quite sure. It might have been something that I wrote in the Rolling Loud chat that I was having car troubles, and that's why I was trying to sell the tickets.
Oh,
That I'm not 100% sure.
no. I'm only looking at the text messages. Hers that you didn't delete, but yours that you did delete. I want you to dwell on that for a moment before you give me the next couple of answers. How did I know that you were having car trouble when you purposely deleted all your messages to her?
I don't know.
I understand that you don't know. I want you to think about how I knew you had car trouble with your car when you don't say it in here. Think about that.
Okay.
I hope it makes you uncomfortable for the next couple of minutes. So you were going to go with a friend, and each of you were paying half of the money. The 2 tickets were $1,500, which the defendant needed to pay for her car,
Correct.
which wasn't working.
Yeah.
You have proof to me that you
It's via Cash App. I also have her confirmation of her sending me the money, and then I sent the whole.
I see it in
Okay.
your texts to her. You got your money first, and you were waiting for your friends. Sent your friends. She was at work. She'd be home in 15 minutes.
Correct. Yes.
Okay, now I'm waiting for your story. Make it a good one, Miss Walker. Make it one that this face that knew you were having car trouble is going to believe and understand.
Met her through the Facebook group, like she mentioned. We messaged for probably about a week, I will say, just back and forth. We talked about her sending me the money. I am aware that her friend was going to send me the other half. We talked about the address that I was supposed to send the tickets to, all this other stuff. She never sent me the money, and that's why nothing came of it.
Explain to me why you deleted your texts.
Because she was someone that I wasn't talking to anymore. There was
I want anybody to raise their hand if they've ever just deleted their portion of a conversation, leaving only the dialogue of the other person. Look around.
And later today,
Oh, well, there is a caveat here.
May I say something?
No.
He wasn't
This is-
truthful to me.
don't-
He didn't.
You asked me if you can say something. I said no. What part of no did you understand?
Jacqueline Okumwabwa, claims ticket seller Raven Walker is responsible for the cost of music festival tickets she never received.
What I want to know is, say to myself, self, why would I go through the trouble of just deleting my answers to somebody's text? Why would I do that? We're going to do a survey here, Miss Walker. Okay. We have a gallery. We have 4 people here. I know this person intimately. I know that she uses her machine to communicate with the majority of the world. I don't know about Whitney that much. She's a tad older, but still uses the internet. Mm-hmm. Kevin, I'm not so sure how often he uses the internet. Feeling he'd rather be puttering around his house, fixing things, but maybe once in a while. And I don't know about the people here, but I see a lot of young people just deleted their portion of a conversation that they've had with somebody. Just their portion of the conversation, leaving only the dialogue of the other person. Has anybody ever done that? Look around. That is so. Do you know why?
Can I explain why I did it?
You just told me why you did it. You want to read back to me, Whitney, why she told me she did it? Just not logical, right?
Deleting the whole conversation.
Yeah, delete the whole conversation, maybe.
So you asked her, explain to me why you deleted your text. She said, because she was someone that I wasn't talking to anymore.
That's exactly right. Judgment for the plaintiff in the amount. You sent $1,500?
Yes, I did.
$1,500. And she sent you no tickets?
She sent me no tickets.
We're done. Thank you very much.
Court is adjourned.
She didn't send me any money, so it sucks that I have to give her something that I didn't receive.
Judge Judy, she saw the receipts for herself, so.
My transactions for my Cash App, there was nothing ever sent on that day. There was nothing ever sent, period.
Unfortunately, you gotta reap what you sow at some point, right?
Did you ever buy anything from a private person on the internet?
I personally have not. I'll buy them direct from the website, as she was mentioning. I've used those, but never just on Facebook or Craigslist or anything like that.
If you buy from a private person, what recourse do you have if you don't get the merchandise that you've agreed to?
Honestly, that's why I don't do it. I don't believe there really is one, and I think that someone who wants to get around the system and potentially scam people, that's the easiest way to do it.
I remember one case we had years and years ago, Sarah. Somebody advertising had a photo of the most current iPhone with a price, and the plaintiff sent the money for the phone, and in return got the photograph of the phone.
I've seen many stories like that.
That was the case. And she said, well, that's what I was selling. It was a photograph of a phone. And I said, this is a cautionary tale to anybody who purchases things from unknown people where you have no recourse.
I agree.
Case number 1166, Davis versus Paz. Please step forward.
Sherman Davis is suing furniture stager Julio Paz for storage fees and the cost of furniture.
Mr. Davis, let me see if I can briefly state what I believe your cause of action is. I believe your cause of action is in contract. Now, you own a property. Some 3 years ago, you asked the defendant, who was in the business of staging with furniture properties for the purposes of being either sold or rented, you asked him to stage an 8-room property. And you signed a contract, and the defendant did, in fact, stage a property that you wanted to rent. And
Yes.
yes, good. What?
It's just a small misunderstanding there in the sense that I sold it to him. I didn't stage it.
Do you have a contract?
Yeah, he...
Right. I'm surprised you don't have a copy of this contract. You're in business.
Oh, I have it right here.
So you have it on your phone?
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been nice if you printed it out so that you had it. That would have been smart, because you're dealing with somebody who is not a millennial who likes to see things that I can touch, that I can bang. If it's in the phone, I don't have it. In any event, you signed the contract, you staged it. That was 3 years ago. He says within 3 years you had an agreement, and it's in the contract, that you would buy back the furniture for which he paid $10,000.
That's correct.
From him for $3,500. And he advised you within that 3-year period that he wanted to exercise that part of the contract, that says that you would buy back the furniture for $3,500, and you declined to do that. And as an excuse for declining to do that, I'm just telling you what his claim is. You say that he moved the furniture from where you had originally staged it someplace else. And that was your reason for not honoring the contract to buy back the furniture. Do I have that right?
Part of it.
What part is wrong?
That I had never refused not to buy the furniture from him. On the contrary, I wanted to buy it. It was a great situation for us to buy it at the price we were buying it. Only 30 cents on the dollar.
So?
Well, when he finally contacted me about the house being back off the market or that he has sold it, that he would like to exercise the option for me to buy it, I said, sure, give me a couple of days. I'm doing a couple of stagings. We'll come by, check it out. If everything is in good condition, we'll buy it all. If not, we'll buy the pieces that are steel because it's been 3 years. So what happened, he goes, well,
that's not what the contract says.
That's not going in storage. He goes, yeah, everything is in lockers. And I say, in lockers? I say, how do you expect me to inspect it if you put it in lockers and all the comforters and everything in boxes? You're going to have to take it out of the locker and put it anywhere that we can inspect it because I'm not going to buy this lot blind.
Well, I have to see what the contract. I have to see what the contract says.
Yeah, we have a list of the furniture and the items. Okay.
May I see it, please? May I see?
Yep.
No, I want to see the contract.
Yes, the contract
Great.
with the list of furniture that he provided.
Okay. So let's go back just for a second. You did this contract in 2018. As it turned out, according to what I read in your complaint, your tenant didn't want the furniture.
Correct.
So you took out the furniture.
Yes.
And that was in 2018.
Yes.
What did you do with the furniture, Mr. Davis?
So the plan was...
I don't want to know what the plan was. I want to know he put the furniture in 8 rooms. You took the furniture out because the tenant said, I don't want that. I have my own furniture, whatever it is. And I pick up nuances. What did you do with the furniture in 2018?
My son's girlfriend warned me that I shouldn't interrupt you because you will get angry, and I can't believe I'm doing it. She put it on my notes. Do not interrupt her. I apologize.
Do not interrupt.
Sherman Davis claims furniture stager Julio Paz broke their agreement when he refused to buy back staging furniture from Sherman.
Now, what did you do?
The original intent of the furniture...
I don't care what the intent was. It went into a staged unit for you to sell. That's what it was. Paid $10,000 for it. The tenant didn't want it. I'm not going to ask you the question again while you figure out what you're going to say to me. What you're going to say to me is the truth. What did you do with the furniture in 2018?
We moved the furniture out.
To where?
To a storage unit.
Immediately from the apartment house, the 8 rooms, you moved the furniture to a storage unit.
Yes.
What month and year?
The tenant occupied our house on December 21st, 2018.
Oh my God.
I have the lease agreement states that they moved in on December 21st.
Just a second. When did you put the furniture in storage?
So the furniture was put in storage the week prior to when they moved in.
So 12/10/2018. And it has remained in storage ever since?
Yes.
It has not been moved from the original storage unit?
No, it's been there the whole entire time.
Okay, so let's see what it says. Oh, well, there is a caveat here.
May I say something?
No.
He wasn't
Listen,
truthful to me. He didn't.
You asked me if you can say something. I said no. What part of no didn't you understand?
Okay, Your Honor.
Maybe your wife doesn't let you do that. Not me.
She left me for that too many years ago, Your Honor.
Well, there's a reason.
I got an ADDA, so it's hard for me to listen, sir.
Is the furniture still in storage?
Yes.
Then how do you expect him to satisfy a condition of this agreement? Mr. Davis, this was a simple contract agreement. I was absolutely prepared to rule in your favor. Furniture should be in good, reasonable condition. How do you expect him to view furniture that has been packed in storage to see if it's in good and reasonable condition?
The furniture's there for him to come out to.
Oh, no. That's not on him. That's on you.
The furniture was never used, though. We just moved the furniture.
He's allowed to see whether mice got in the furniture in storage in 3 years, whether it's got mold and mildew after 3 years. It's your responsibility, yours, to lay it all out so that he can come and look at it, and then you fulfill that provision of the contract. He says he'll buy it back. It has to be in good and reasonable condition.
And I was willing to do that. But
Well, then I tell you what you do. You arrange for all the furniture to be unpacked in a location. He can view it and see that it is in good and reasonable condition, not eaten by rats, has no mold, has no mildew. All 8 rooms laid out, and you do that within 5 days.
Okay.
And
I'd love to buy it, Your Honor. Furniture prices went up 40% right now, so I get a great deal. I'd love to buy it from you. ADHD, Your Honor, I'm sorry. I apologize. My bad. My son's girlfriend warned me that I shouldn't interrupt you because her grandmother watched you for many years and you will get angry, and I can't believe I'm doing it. She put it on my notes. Do not interrupt her. I apologize.
Well, she should have
Sorry,
added, do
Dave.
not interrupt her, especially when it appears
She
to be
also
a winning.
told me-
Do not interrupt her. When it appears you get exactly what you want. So, these are the ground rules. If you want him to buy back the furniture within 5 days from today, you arrange for the furniture to come out of storage. You give him 48 hours notice where the furniture will be totally laid out. You may have to rent a stage somewhere for a day. That's going to cost you money. But he doesn't have to buy a pig in a poke. And there's a condition precedent in your contract that the furniture has to be in good condition. Now, as far as I'm concerned, once your tenant didn't want the furniture, instead of putting it in storage, you're going to make the money up from the tenant anyway. You say to him then, in December, listen, before I put it in storage, you say you'd buy it back for $3,500. I'm prepared to eat the loss because I'm going to make it up in rent over the next 12 months. Instead, you put it in storage. He's not responsible for your storage. So, within 5 days from today, on 48 hours notice, you're going to lay out all the furniture. If you don't do that, you don't get your money. Then it's your furniture. Do you understand?
yes, but what about the
Perfect.
storage fees?
He's not responsible for your storage fees. That's my ruling. I'm abiding by the terms of the written contract that you signed with him. Do you understand? Perfect. That's the ruling. You'll get a copy of it. Goodbye. Who was it? Your sister told you to be quiet?
I'm sorry?
Your sister!
No, he's my son's daughter.
I don't care.
girlfriend that
I withdraw that question. I don't care.
Court is adjourned.
When he actually contacted me recently, all he told me was the house was sold. Now when I exercised my option for you to buy it was in storage was because I didn't get back to him quick, which was not true either.
About a year later, and he declined to come and pick up the furniture.
If I get the furniture, it will be a good thing for me because the furniture prices are super high because of the problem with the shipping overseas.
I mean, it's very dated furniture. It's furniture that's really undesirable.
I would love for him to actually call me, and I'll definitely would buy it. I need it.
Yeah, I'll follow. I'll pursue what the judge says. So.
It makes my work so easy when there's a contract. And it's interesting. When I read that, the complaint and answer, you read it, it looked pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it did. I thought he really refused to abide by a portion of the contract, but it was really the plaintiff that did not satisfy the condition precedent to him buying back the furniture.
Which was to be able to look at it.
Yeah.
It's not his obligation to display it. It's the plaintiff's obligation to let him see whether after 3 years, I don't know whether I would rely on what happens to furniture.
Yeah, you never know.
You don't. So I think that it made the resolution of it so easy. People should pay attention. Do a contract. Read it.
Abide by it.
Right. Makes your life in courts much easier.
Yeah.
Want justice? Go to judyjustice.tv.
you purchased a female puppy from her.
I just want my dog, but I wanted to be able to breed her.
We went into it as a pet agreement, which is this contract.
Which disallows you from breeding the dog.
I don't want the dog. I want the dog fixed.
Well, I can't do that. I mean, I don't have the equipment here.
This is Judy Justice. Taylor Lewis is suing dog breeder P.J. Carter for breach of contract and fraud.
Court come to order. All rise.
Thank you. Have a seat, please.
Hello, Judge. Case 1069, Lewis versus Carter.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Miss Lewis, what got you interested in breeding dogs?
I love the breed, and I wanted to help bring something to the breed to help bring healthy dogs into the world.
What breed?
Bull Terriers.
Had you ever had a bull terrier before?
Yes, I actually found one for my husband.
Where did you get the one that you got for your husband?
I just found her on Facebook. He wasn't AKC registered or anything.
Well, if not AKC registered, how did you know that the one that you got for your husband was a purebred bull terrier?
Well, we were told that he was purebred. We saw his mom and his dad.
Well, you saw two dogs.
Yes. But at that point, I wasn't even interested in breeding.
Okay. And that's a male dog?
Yes.
Who I gather from these papers has never been neutered?
No, he is not.
So you have an unregistered, unneutered dog, and according to you, I think what you said is you wanted to do something for the breed. Would you read that back to me?
She said, I love the breed and I wanted to help bring something to the breed to help bring healthy dogs into the world.
So you went looking for a female?
Yes. But just to be
what?
A companion.
Okay. Not to breed?
No, I actually have evidence.
Just a second. Not to breed?
No.
And how did you find the defendant?
On Facebook.
She is, according to your papers, a recognized breeder of bull terriers.
Yes.
How much did you pay for your husband's dog?
$400.
Now, you found the defendant, who was an experienced breeder of bull terriers, on Facebook, and you ultimately purchased a female puppy from her, whose name is, I think, Adora.
Yes.
On what date did you purchase the dog from her?
On January 19th of 2020.
Did you pay her the $2,000? The dog is a companion, but this companion dog did in fact have a litter.
Yes. Sorry.
I'm getting there. This companion dog had a litter. That wasn't an accident, because you didn't breed this companion dog with your husband's dog.
No, ma'am.
Because your husband's dog is unpapered.
Yes, and I would never do that.
Sometimes you don't have a choice. So you purposefully bred the dog to have a litter. On what date?
January 3rd, we did artificial insemination, and again on January 6th of 2020, or 2021.
And who owned the male dog?
Miss Carter's friend had the male dog.
Is that correct?
Yeah.
And that litter produced how many puppies?
6.
Now, when you purchased this puppy, you had a co-ownership agreement with the defendant?
We did not. She gave me a year because she said that we were very knowledgeable with dogs, so on and so forth.
She gave you a year for what?
To figure out if we wanted to breed her or not. At that time, we could enter a co-own agreement.
Okay, so when did you in fact enter into the co-own agreement? Because if the dog was bred in January with a friend of hers, there evidently was a meeting of the minds that you were going to use this dog at least one time for breeding purposes.
Yes.
So then you entered into a co-ownership agreement, which I'd like to look at.
Yes.
Because it has terms on it, Kevin.
The date that she was paid off was on...
Just a second. The puppy that was sold, you purchased on what date?
That's what I was trying to say. We got her on July 19th, and when she was paid off and we entered into the co-own agreement was on July 9th of 2021.
We went into it as a pet agreement, and then when she paid the dog off, I said, okay, now I'm going to register her. Do you want to go into the co-own, or do you guys want to keep her as a pet? So then we both agreed to do a co-own. this contract, and then
And then
I registered her.
and when you registered her, did you pay the plaintiff any money?
No, I paid for the registration.
Okay, so let me understand this. She paid you $2,000 for the dog.
Right.
And it was sold as a pet.
Right.
Just want to get it clear. If she decided within the 1 year she wanted to breed her, then you would co-own the dog. You would not get any puppies from the litter.
No, I would.
You would. So you were supposed to get how many puppies from a litter?
1.
Did you get a puppy from the first litter?
Yes.
Did you sell that puppy?
Yes.
For how much?
She has not been paid or anything yet. It was to my best friend, but she was for $2,500.
Okay. Did you sell the remaining 5 puppies?
Yes, ma'am. Or we kept one. We sold 4. Sorry.
Did you work?
For $2,500 to $3,000.
And how much approximately were the vet bills and the breeding that you had?
Like $2,300.
Okay. And what was the stud fee for the dog?
$1,000.
You spent $1,000 for the stud fee.
Mm-hmm.
And how much did you spend for shots for the puppies, etc.? I'm trying to figure out. You sold the puppies for an average of $2,750 a piece, times 4.
Well, there was 3 that was sold for $2,500, and then 1 that was sold for $3,000.
Did you, in fact, allow a female puppy to be registered with full breeding rights to the person that you sold the female puppy to?
I did not.
That's either a yes or a no.
No. Yes.
That's either a yes or a no. Well, you just told me both things.
Taylor Lewis says dog breeder PJ Carter breached their contract. PJ countersuing, claiming Taylor breached the breeding contract and wants her to return a bull terrier.
Okay, so we have $10,500 and minus $1,000 that you paid for the stud fee.
Yes.
Is $9,500. Now you're going to tell me what your vet bills were.
Okay. I think it was about...
Don't give me anything other than bills. I don't want to see anything other than bills. Just make sure I'm sending you the right thing. Sarah, do me a favor. Add those up. Make sure that they're all for Adora and her puppies. Okay? Okay. So far you've covered the cost of the dog and made several $1,000s. Sarah's going to tell me exactly how much.
Mm-hmm.
This is your complaint. Your complaint is that the defendant must have forged your name to AKC papers.
Yes.
And taken you off as the co-owner of the dog, making herself sole owner of the dog, which disallows you from registering the dog or further breeding the dog.
And showing.
And or showing the dog.
Yes.
You've never shown her before.
No, the only reason I didn't was because of COVID.
You've never shown her before?
No.
You have a counterclaim. And your counterclaim is for breach of this contract, this breeding contract, and for the value of the dog, which actually you've already been paid for, $2,000, and or the dog back, which you're not going to get because the dog is part of their household.
Your Honor, that was the other thing too. I wanted to request that I get ownership of Adora.
Did you in fact sign her name to a document that allowed you to advise the AKC, but your name is sole owner of the dog?
No.
Well, are you now the sole owner of the dog?
Only with the AKC. That was a confusion. She was thinking I would steal the dog from her, and I said, all I'm doing is taking ownership of the breeding rights of the AKC. That's it.
Okay. Now, you took ownership of that while you had co-ownership with her, and you did that by executing a document just in your own name?
Right. And she could have done the same thing to me.
But she didn't, because that's a breach of contract.
But if the contract already had been broken, that's why I put her into my name.
Just a second. You have to tell me what you think gives you the right to change the contract that you had.
There was no change of it.
There was, because you are now the sole breeding right owner of the dog, and prior to that, both of you were.
Right. Okay.
So there is a difference. As you said, she could have done it to you, you did it to her. So you have to tell me what you consider a valid reason and one that did not breach the contract that the two of you entered into.
Right. Okay. I tried to teach her how to register the puppies, and she refused my help. So when she registered the puppies on
May 1st, she registered one of the females with full breeding rights.
That was actually a typo.
I don't want you to interrupt again.
Okay.
She registered one of the puppies with full breeding rights.
Correct.
Okay. And that was in violation of what clause of this agreement? Just tell me.
On the back, under breeding agreement number 3.
Okay. All puppies sold must be sold with limited papers unless agreed upon by everyone. Must be stated in the contract between future breeding partner. Okay. So all puppies must be sold with limited papers. I understand what that means.
Right.
You know, that means that they're being sold as pets.
The people don't have breeding rights to the dog.
No, they don't.
Correct.
Right. So she sold it with full breeding rights.
Okay.
She registered it with full breeding rights.
Just a second. She registered it herself?
Correct.
With full breeding rights to her?
No, to the person that bought the dog.
Kevin, may I see what she's talking about?
Can I have that total?
Your Honor.
I have that total whenever
Great.
you're ready.
What's the total?
$1,553.35.
Great. Thank you.
Your Honor. I have evidence.
Just a second.
Okay.
I told you not to interrupt me again.
Sorry.
Subtract that figure from $9,500, please.
It's the top one to your left, Judge.
That's a letter from...
Okay, this says the dog was registered online with AKC on May 1st to the new owner of the dog with full registration, and on July 9th, it was corrected to limited registration. If you do it again, I'm just going to dismiss your case, and then we're going to be gone. Did you, in fact, allow on May 1st a female puppy to be registered with full breeding rights to the person that you sold the female puppy to?
I did not.
That's either a yes or a no.
No. Yes.
That's either a yes or a no. Well, you just told me both things. On May 1st, when one of the puppies was sold, did you sell that puppy and allow it to be registered with full breeding rights, full registration? Did you allow that to happen? That's
No.
either a yes or a no.
No.
Okay, you have some proof of that.
Yes.
I'd like to see it.
I have that number for you.
What is it?
$7,946.65.
Okay, thank you. Okay, so you sold, according to this, the animal was sold with limited full co-own. I don't know what that means. And it says that said dog must be altered by 1 year, and a copy of the alter certificate must be sent to the seller.
I don't know what that is that you're looking at.
Well, this looks like
Is that the contract between her?
This is a contract between her and the person to whom she sold the puppy. Okay? You can show it to the defendant.
Can I explain something?
Just look at it before you explain it. Yes.
So on the day that she registered the puppies, she registered 3 different puppies. The one they kept, the one they sold that I had no part in selling, and another puppy that I had sold for them. Out of those 3 puppies, those 2 puppies were sold with full breeding rights and did not have my kennel name in the registered name.
Okay.
So how is it an accident? The puppy that I have nothing to do with gets full breeding rights, and AKC says they have full breeding rights. She registers 1 puppy correctly, 2 puppies incorrectly, the 2 that I have nothing to do with. So after
Just a second. She's attempting to answer that question. What is this that you're showing me?
On the highlighted part where she says that she wanted no responsibility or anything to do with the with rehoming the puppies.
You're not rehoming them. You're
Or
selling
them. Sorry.
She doesn't. What does that have to do
Well, she was saying that she wasn't part of it, and that was part of her problem.
No, she doesn't have to be consulted about the buyers of your puppies.
I want the dog fixed. End of.
Well, I can't do that. I mean, I don't have the equipment here.
Right. So the only thing I wish the only thing I was able to do.
I would if I believe me. I would if I could, but I can't.
Taylor Lewis has accused dog breeder P.J. Carter of breaching their contract and falsely claiming full ownership of their bull terrier. P.J. wants Taylor to return the dog or get her fixed.
Now they have to be registered in the proper way according to this contract, which she says they were not. And according to the AKC, they were not registered in a manner consistent with the agreement that you had with her, which is that she would be consulted. You would consult with each other with regard to breeding and ownership. Well, so it's a problem. You want to keep this dog? Do you want to keep this dog?
Yes, she's a part of my family. She's tattooed on my arm.
Okay. And so far, according to Sarah's math and according to my figures, $10,500 less $1,000 for breeding rights, you had some $1,500 worth of expenses with regard to the breeding of this dog, which leaves you with a net profit of almost $8,000. Okay, that's not bad, right?
No, it's not.
And if you deduct the $2,000 that you paid for the dog, you come out with a nice net figure.
Yes.
My question is, there was some discussion in the paperwork, and you say that you have a male dog at home that you believe probably is a bull terrier. You paid $400 for it, so I kind of doubt it. But that male dog is not neutered, is it now?
He was going to be now after this whole situation.
Well, that was a shoulda, woulda, coulda. This has been going on for a long time. This is April, May, June.
2 years.
Yes.
It's been going on for a long time. So it took them a long time to get brains that you don't if you have no intention of breeding a dog which doesn't have an AKC bloodline. And if you, as you said in the beginning, wanted to bring something to the breed, you don't bring something to the breed by allowing a situation to exist in your home where there could be an accident.
Yes, ma'am. I totally agree. But I did want to show you that I did tell PJ at first when we were talking about breeding and everything that we had no intention of breeding, and we would get her spayed before we got him fixed, as well as she came back and asked if we would stud him.
Okay, now I'm listening to you. So you have no further intention of breeding a Dora?
No, I was going to breed her one more time, just not with our male.
That's a problem.
Okay, I don't have to. I just want her to be my pet.
Fine. If you just want her to be your pet and you just want to own her, then that seems to be, even for the defendant, a perfectly logical and obvious choice. You have her neutered, and she will consent to removing her name as co-owner. Is that right?
Yeah, I told her I'd pay fully
Just a
to
second.
put him back in her name.
Just a second. If you want to own her completely without any issue with the defendant.
Yes, I wanted to be able to show her, and that was it.
Just a second. Well, you can't show her if she's fixed.
I know.
You know, I know a little bit. I know a little bit about, just a little bit about that. Okay. So, if you tell me, this is very easily resolved, that at this time, you're telling me that you would rather have her as a pet. She's part of your family, and you will have her neutered. And then the defendant will turn over her papers to you. She is your dog for all purposes. You can take her, you can show her around wherever you want to show her. They allow neutered dogs to be shown. If you're smart, you'll have your dog neutered. There's no reason for him to be not neutered. And if that's what you agree to do in what you're going to show me, I don't see that we have any problem here.
Well, that's not what I was going to show you. What I was trying to say is that just at the end of the day, I just want my dog, but I wanted to be able to show her. I wanted to be able to breed her.
You can't have that without the agreement with her. That was your original contract with her, that she co-owns the dog. You want the dog, that's the contract. That's going to stay put. Or you want the dog all for yourself, and you have nothing to do with the defendant anymore. And then I will create that order that makes it clear that a Dora will be spayed and not used for breeding purposes. And the dog, at that point, when proof of neutering is shown to the defendant, she is ordered to return the papers to you, any documents, and provide any documents to the AKC which indicate that she has any interest in the dog.
Okay. I still want to breed her and show her.
You know, you can't have it both ways. You say to her, I don't have an intention of breeding her or showing her, and I just want her. She's part of the family. I'm prepared to do that for you. If you don't want to do that, then you're not going to be able to breed her. Right now, she's in the same kind of situation she was before. She was sold to you with a certain agreement, and you can't breach that agreement. I'm not going to certainly rewrite the contract.
Oh, I didn't expect you to.
Okay. What?
There's a part that says if both parties agree to not have another litter, she must be spayed within 4 months. And we had both agreed at one point, we're done breeding.
Well, she evidently hasn't made that agreement.
Right. I want the dog fixed. End of.
Well, I can't do that. I mean, I don't have the equipment here.
Right. So the only thing I wish. The only thing I was able to do
I would, believe me. I would if I could, but I can't.
The only thing I could do is put the AKC papers into
claim to encourage her to spay her, so hopefully no more future puppies will be
I'm not
created.
creating any order that assists her. Do you understand? Right now, what exists is an order that says she can't really breed the dog because she's not going to be able to sell the puppies for $2,500 or $3,000 a piece. She may breed the dog, but she'll have to sell the puppies for $400 a piece. And what it costs her to breed the dog would go through to wind up with a net amount of money.
Right. Because I'm not getting the dog back, that's why I was doing the counterclaim.
You're not. You fixed the problem. You did that on your own. Your choice. Want to have the dog neutered? She gives you the dog.
Okay.
You got it?
Yes.
Perfect. We're done here.
Court is adjourned.
I mean, at the end of the day, I'm happy that Adora is coming home with me.
I try to be an ethical breeder, and these dogs are my lifelong problem.
She wanted more money. That's what it was.
It's my duty to protect them until they die.
Now, it's interesting. The defendant in that case was really interested in the breed, and she was an experienced breeder. There's no question that the plaintiff and her husband were just
getting into it. It's
And
not just
you
a
may-
hobby. You have to. It's
Yeah.
not just a hobby. You have to make sure you have the proper home, the proper papers, the proper bloodline.
and everything, because what the plaintiff said was she got interested in breeding because she wants to enhance the breed. Well, I think that if you're going to breed AKC animals, it has to be more than just a
hobby.
And I say that having experienced it once and being foolish once, it has to be more than just a hobby. You really have to be smart and committed to do that. Right.
Want justice? Go to judyjustice.tv.